Welcome to the inaugural session of Automate with Friends, the only podcast that's called Automate with Friends. I'm a dad, don't blame me. I'm sitting here today with Sami Afterberg from ISS Palvelut. Oh, Sami, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Before we start, I was wondering if you could tell, for the benefit of our audience over here, what does ISS Palvelut actually do?
Well, we provide technical services, building maintenance, security services, restaurant, food services, and of course, our biggest service is cleaning. And we do that in Finland as well as in 30 countries across the globe.
Wow, that's a massive operation.
Yeah.
Actually, on that note, could you tell us a bit about yourself? I mean, what do you do at ISS? What's your role? And give us a lowdown.
Currently, I work as a head of business operations IT, and I have this small team of 3 people, and we are responsible of providing the IT services and systems to our business operations. So it's like usually you have back office functions and the infrastructure. That's not my piece of cake. I provide the customer-facing solutions for our employees and as well for our customers.
Okay. Well, on that note, because I noticed, I was doing a little bit of reading about ISS Palvelut, and I noticed you folks have been heavily investing in the areas of, automation and robotics and robot messengers or robot processors.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about what those initiatives are like?
Well, it's I would say it's a part of bigger enhancement to say. We are not just using RPA or automation or AI, like we use them in combination. So we always try to recognize the bottlenecks in our processes and in our user experience, and then automate the bottlenecks and remove the unpleasant, mundane tasks from people that nobody wants to do, and we always try to go for the best technology for that specific use case. So it might be RPA, it might be integration or some other type of automation, or like nowadays, Gen AI is a big thing, so we are using that as well.
Just out of curiosity, I'm sorry, but for the benefit of our viewers, you mentioned RPA. What does RPA stand for?
It's robotic process automation.
Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted to know, because as you mentioned just now, you have these robotic process automations systems in place. Can you give a specific example of one of these systems where, how does it benefit the user, the end user, whether it's the people you're hiring or the customers themselves?
Well, usually we use RPA in legacy systems or some other systems that don't support integration, and because that enables us to build automation even if it's a legacy system that doesn't have any kind of integration capabilities, or the integration capabilities are really, really weak. So then you might use RPA solutions. There might be some other use cases as well, but this is how I see it happening. Like we have old systems which are a crucial part of our business, of course, but we don't want to renew the, let's say, it could be like a core of some specific process that is run by a really old system. Like, for example, banks run on COBOL systems.
Oh, yes.
So it might be really difficult to change some of these systems, and that, I would say, forces us to sometimes use RPA solutions. But there might be other cases, but this is my take on this, when to use RPA.
It's funny you mentioned COBOL just now, because I have some friends who basically in the 90s, they made bank because a lot of the banks were like, before the Y2K problem, they hired a whole bunch of COBOL programmers.
Yeah.
And my friend is happily retired now. Something wrong with career choices that I made. Anywho, but also, I was curious about, you've been in this business for a long time, and you've probably seen the landscape change. Can you tell us a little bit about, what changes you've seen, where it was like, let's give a specific, like 20 years ago, like 20 years ago to now.
Well, I can only say like 15 years because
Okay.
I came to IT in 2010. So I would say 15 years. Well, what has happened? I've seen an increase in different solutions, of course, like digital services, really specialized digital services. And that has happened on the consumer side. But in business world, you have more specific apps and solutions for a specific problem. And of course, that can cause information overflow in people.
Yes.
And I think this will change. Like we have now seen that it's like we have been growing the number of solutions that are on the market. Like for example, Microsoft Office. How many Office products are there now? Like really many. I think what we will see next is that Gen AI will actually enable us to reduce the number of solutions, and we might get like this easy to use user interfaces that can actually connect to multiple process cores. That's what I believe will happen. That's like the change I've seen. And of course, a lot more information is bouncing around. I always call it like information tsunami. Emails, Teams messages, WhatsApp, Slack, everything like bing, bing, bing.
I'm preaching to the choir. I completely understand and agree with you.
Yeah.
But yes. Well, actually, when you say something like, well, I'm going to come back to that generation AI that you mentioned, because as you probably have heard, you folks hire a lot of people. I believe something in excess of 1,000 people worldwide.
Yeah, globally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure you in hiring process, there's been changes like even 15 years ago to now, with the newer generation of workforce coming in. What kind of things do you see are needed when you're implementing a solution, like whatever systems you're putting into place? Like, for example, 15 years ago, things were more manual.
Yeah.
Now it's more automated.
Yes.
What kinds of automations do you see happening?
Well, I don't know if I can really specify the type of like what will be automated, but it feels to me like, especially with Gen AI, like which is the big thing now, I think we have to start by putting some AI everywhere. Like it would be really nice if we could just have an AI agent that we give like a really high level task and it will go off and do it, but they are not capable of that. So you have to really specify and make a really like a specialized AI bot to take care of really like small piece of the process, and then maybe put another one into other part of the process. Did it answer your question?
Yes. Actually, that's one of the things. I was more thinking in the case of ISS, Paolo.
What kind of things we are automating? Okay, for example, we have been doing a lot of Gen AI, of course, and the latest enhancement we have done is we have automated invoice description writing with Gen AI. It's really simple process. How it works is that our maintenance employees and installers, when they finish a job or when they take a break from the job, they usually report something in a form of a text. No, right, like I will go get some stuff from the store, or I'm waiting for some stuff from the supplier, or now it's finished and this is what I did for it. And then there might be typos. There might be like the structure of the sentences might be unlogical, not correct. And then it might be that we are gathering multiple work orders into one invoice. So then it would make sense to have all the reported actions in like incremental order. And that's what it does. It fixes the typo and arranges them in an incremental order for the invoice. And also if you have like, I don't know, curse words or something like that, it will remove them. But it's like really simple thing if you think about it. And of course we have a human in the loop there. So all of the AI generated text, they are overseen by people and they need to approve the text. But it's like these little things. This is the latest one. And yeah, I feel like we need to do more of these simple, really specialized automations.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because my next question is, if you had a wish list, I wish somebody would fill in the blanks. I mean, what would you like to see happen? I mean, if you had like a special task or you wish somebody would make an app that would do something, can you tell us what that might be?
Like anything?
Yes, anything.
Oh, wow. I think since I was a little boy, I have always dreamed of this, that machines and technology could take care of all the basic things that need to be done to run the infrastructure and like we need food, we need buildings, we need cars, clothes. So it's like what would be the dream come true, so to say. That would be it. Like people could choose what they work on because nobody really needs to work anymore. That's like my personal dream, so to speak. But I know we're not there, like anywhere near. But I think that's like what would be really, really great. Like people, because I believe that there would be more social contact and people would come together if they wouldn't need to do work for money, but they could do it for fulfillment. That would be like the ultimate.
You just made your dream my dream. Well, we have this thing towards the end of our session. I'd like to ask you, and this is basically for future guests on the show. What is one question that you would have, you wish somebody would answer it? Because, maybe somebody, a future guest on our show might be able to shed some light about something that's perhaps burning in your mind.
Well, I'm going to be selfish and I would like to ask, how have you used out Gen AI in your organization? Like, what have you done with it? Because I feel like there are a lot of prototyping, but not many companies share success stories, like really big success stories around it. And there is huge investment and huge hype, but we don't see as much success stories flying around as we see prototyping. Yeah. So that would be really interesting to have a peek into some other company. What are they doing? Like really tangible benefits they have gotten from Gen AI.
Very interesting question. And I will pose it to our future guests.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us on the show. And I wish you all the best in your upcoming endeavors.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being here again. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us from Automate with Friends. We'll see you on the next podcast.